Hey guys, I'm sitting here on my lunch break at work and I notice a big news article that Google just got hit with a massive lawsuit. And in this video, I plan on running you through the basic summary of what is this lawsuit about and what is Google's history with this type of lawsuits, and then maybe insert a few of my opinions and ask you for yours in the comments. Let's take a look. Also, before we really get started, consider hitting the subscribe button to my channel if you're interested in PC and technology-related content, and you'll never miss a video. So what's going on with this lawsuit? Basically, this lawsuit is accusing Google of being anti-competitive specifically to their search, accusing them of being a gatekeeper to the internet. Particularly, they're focusing on the fact that, for one thing, Google controls about 80% of search results. And not only does that happen, but Google actively spends money to make sure that that happens, which obviously makes sense for Google to do. They want to dominate search, right? That's what they should do. But it can be concerning if they become too big, right? And too dominating. So what have they been doing specifically that's being targeted in this lawsuit? Well, Google pays money to become the default search engine on various devices. For example, a lot of smartphones will come where when you open up your internet browser on your smartphone, the default internet browser has a default search engine, right? So when you get your new phone, you probably open up the internet browser and search stuff. And that search engine is most likely set as Google by default. And it could have been set as Bing or something like that, but it wasn't. It was set as Google. And Google has done a lot to make sure that that's the case. They've even paid billions of dollars to make sure that that happens. That doesn't just happen on smartphones, it can happen on laptops and things like that as well. So you might get a laptop that comes pre-installed with Google Chrome browser and uses the Google search engine and various devices as well. So the idea is that Google has spent billions of dollars to be the default search engine. Sorry, my phone thinks I'm talking to it, guys. Anyway, fair warning, I am a Google user. And no, I am not a Google shill. Trust me, Google does not know about my tiny little channel I'm doing for fun here, and they are not paying me any sort of money or anything like that. I got accused in one of my comments earlier about that I'm a shill for NVIDIA. And I'm like, NVIDIA doesn't even know who I am, and I have no reason to be a shill for anybody. I'm not even monetized on YouTube yet, guys. Come on. Let's get back to the story. So like I said, Google spends lots of money to be the default search engine on many devices, and this is a primary target of this lawsuit, which is focusing on them being anti-competitive. So Google's claim is that they aren't anti-competitive. They're just saying that people have a free choice of what internet browser to use. They just choose Google because they're the best, right? And I mean, honestly, I agree with them. I use Google myself. I've considered switching over to Bing. I almost want to do a video about this. So I've heard that there's ways to get Bing rewards where like you can actually get like paid Microsoft money to buy Microsoft things by doing that. And I think you can actually combine that with things like even playing games on Game Pass and stuff. I don't want to get too sidetracked with that, but I'm actually interested in that topic. You can let me know in the comments if you are as well. But anyway, the point is that Google is a very effective search engine that a lot of people choose to use, but they are also doing things to actually pay money to become the default search engine, which might be where some of the anti-competitive issues get into. Let's also get into a history of this. So this lawsuit is being brought by the United States, along with, I think, the United States Department of Justice, but combined with 11 other states. So it's the U.S. and 11 states bringing this lawsuit against Google. And this is a big deal because Google has been facing this type of lawsuit in the past over the last few years, but in the European Union. So the European Union has already sued Google over many similar claims and has won and has levied massive fines against Google for similar reasons. However, Google is appealing those results, so it could be a while before those are fully resolved and Google actually has to pay the money. For a specific history on that, I think I could pop it up over here on the side in the video, but I could also read it off. I do have a little list here. So in 2017, Google was fined 2.4 billion euros over shopping results. I believe that's kind of them being anti-competitive with the shopping results you get on the Google search. And in 2018, they had a 4.3 billion euro fine over claims it used Android software to unfairly promote its own apps. I think that mostly has to do with the fact that, like, when you get an Android device, it probably comes pre-installed with Google stuff. Google apps and services are pre-installed on it and oftentimes set as the defaults for the device to use. And in 2019, they faced a 1.5 billion euro fine for blocking advertisements from rival search engines. So again, Google is not, it's not new for Google to being sued for large amounts of money for being anti-competitive, but it's now the US government bringing that against Google. In the past, all these major cases have been more focused on in the European Union. And this brings me to some of my okay, what else is going on here? Is there a bigger story involved? Well, in general, there's a lot of, and I want to be careful about getting too political with anything. I don't want to get political, but there are questions over a lot of the tech giants, right? We've got huge companies like Google and Amazon, Facebook, things like that. They're massive companies that dominate their spheres of technology, right? And they can be it can be scary how much power they have. And they can also be very monopolistic and anti-competitive. And in the past, again, the European Union has seemed to be more willing to sue over this and try to force changes. And the US government hasn't done as much about that. But lately, there's been a lot more pressure to take on some of these large tech companies in the United States. And this is one of the biggest recent suits that seem to be coming down on this. So I guess what I'm getting at here is that this could be something that we start to see more of. We could start seeing the US government suing some of these large companies over their monopolistic control over their spheres, like Google does with their search results. Do you think we're going to see more of this? Do you think Google's going to win? Is this just going to get bogged down in appeal after appeal after appeal? Is this something we're going to start seeing a lot of with other companies? Is Amazon, Apple, Facebook, are we going to start seeing lawsuits like this taking them on? Let me know in the comments what you guys think about this situation. Thank you, and I hope you have an excellent day.